We are about to go into our 100 questions every seller should ask. Question number 8.
Yeah, so this next section we're going through is going to talk about renovations and repairs.
Okay, so the book says that there's 2 types of sellers. One, they do everything. 2, they do nothing when they are selling their property. I think that if you're going to get the most bang for your buck, you're probably going to do like a hybrid model where you don't do everything, but it's like a consultation. You have a real estate agent come in and kind of consult you on what to do, and you're kind of getting the most return on investment for your dollar.
Absolutely. So yes, you do have people who want to do everything. They want to have the best house on the block. They want to do a large renovation in preparation for getting the house on the market. And then you also sometimes have the client who wants to do absolutely nothing. They want you, they're actually ready to put the house on the market tomorrow if you can get a photographer over. Like they don't plan on doing anything, not a professional cleaning, no painting, nothing. They just want to get the property on the market. And we've had both of those types of clients, but most often we see the third option, which is someone who's willing to do some work. They don't want to take on a massive project. They want to, have a reasonable timeline from the date of the initial meeting until getting a property on the market. And they'll spend some money on a renovation, but they don't want to go into debt. They don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars to get ready, but they do want to be competitive and they do want to get top dollar for their property. And this is why it's important to speak with an agent before you talk to a contractor. A contractor can come over and share with you all the things you could do to your property, everything that you could do to make the house more attractive, what they're seeing in other homes, what they're doing for other people.
There's only so many projects that really return a positive return on investment. So it makes sense not to do things that are more or less like pet projects.
So another thing to consider is that there are just some things that you know about, right? You've lived in a home. So you know that the tub needs to be recaulked. You know that the sink is a little bit loose. Your toilet frequently runs. Like just those little things that you already know about. Take care of those small things. Work on that honey-do list of things you've been either ignoring or pushing to the side or saying you're going to get to. Work on those things. And then we also recommend for our sellers having a home inspection before you come on the market.
Home inspections provide you with a list of everything that's wrong with your property from the perspective of an inspector and a perspective of someone who is trained to find everything. And so you really want to take care of those knickknack items like the doors rubbing, the windows not working, any kind of creaks in the floors if possible, any kind of wood rot on the exterior. That's kind of things that the home inspector is going to find that you may not notice because you've been living in the property for such a long period.
Our 2 priciest updates. These are the things that everybody loves. We love a beautiful kitchen, a lovely primary bathroom. So people want to update these things. They want to, all the time they were living in a house, they wish they'd had this grand island. They wish they had granite counters. They just never got around to it. And for some reason, now that they're ready to sell their home, they want to give the buyer the house that they never gave themselves.
That's true. I don't understand the large renovations of kitchens and bathrooms before you sell your house. When this already shows that you have enough money to do the renovation. Just do the renovation as early as possible so you can actually live in it and you'll still get the same return on investment.
So we want to ask ourselves when we're thinking about these updates, these big updates, right? Your kitchen, your bathroom, when do you want to sell? Because if you plan on selling in the next 6 months or the next 12 months, are you doing this for yourself? Or are you doing this for a potential buyer? Because we have to remember, you may not get your money back. You're not going to get a dollar for dollar return on these things. Now, if you plan on doing them, a year or two before you move, well, then at least you get use of those things. So you're not just doing this for the buyer. You're not just doing this for the market. You're doing it so that you can have use of it as well and enjoy it until you vacate the property. And then, so again, ask yourself, are you doing it for yourself or the buyer? And then consider maybe making some updates instead of doing a full remodel. So can do wonders for cabinets. It really can transform the look of a kitchen cabinet. Putting on some new hardware can really change a dated kitchen. Consider getting a new appliance package because that's really something that adds value for buyers. And then when it comes to your bathrooms, maybe you don't do a full update. You don't change that tub into a standing shower. You just go ahead and update the light fixtures. You paint, you put a new vanity in, maybe new flooring in the bathroom. That's not a huge expense, but perhaps you make those changes, which gives it more of a facelift, right? So you're not doing a whole renovation, just, little nip tuck.
So let's talk about some other things you can do instead of large repairs or
Mhm.
large renovations. So you could add some, I wouldn't say new systems because replacing the HVAC system isn't ideal,
Mhm.
but getting it serviced, right?
Mhm.
Make sure the hot water heater, now hot water heaters do come into play because a lot of buyers don't know how much a hot water heater costs. So they just assume that it's like expensive.
Yeah, they assume it's a lot more. Same thing with a roof. They assume it's a lot more. A roof, if you know that it's getting up there in age, a roof isn't as expensive as you may have thought. But if you can advertise these new things, if you can advertise that you have a new HVAC system, a new hot water heater, new roof, new windows, these are things that no, they're not sexy. No, they don't show up in the pictures. They show up in the remarks, and it's something that a conservative buyer would be like, oh, these are things that I don't have to think about. Oh, the HVAC's only 2 years old. They just put a new hot water heater in. Oh, they say they just installed a new roof and there's a 25-year warranty. Like those things for your very conservative buyer, again, not sexy, but those are things that do entice buyers also.
And then we have windows. Windows can get pricey depending on the type of or the size of the property and how many windows are going to be in the property.
Mhm.
So I would just say that what your home inspector should provide you is a list of all the windows that may be broken. If you have windows that have been replaced or installed relatively in the past and have warranty, maybe you can start the warranty process. So we've had sellers who've had broken windows, but they were under warranty. They started the warranty process and then they were replaced for the new buyer without any cost to our client. Next up, we have now you're moving to walls and carpet. So with walls and carpet, you want to make sure that you're going with the paint colors on the walls. You're not going for any bold colors. We had a client that we were showing properties in Potomac Shores recently where this seller really loved beach themed colors and it showed everywhere. And that was one of the main comments our client made, which was, I don't like this house because of the paint job.
Mhm.
Now, some people will say, well, Abraham, painting isn't that big of a deal. Your client could just repaint the property. As soon as a client starts to make a list of items, they're adding that to their current list, right? So most
Mhm.
people already have a list of items that they're going to change once they get into a property.
Yes, it sounds like that's going to cost them money. So why would they buy the home that needs to be painted? Because of course, yes, they can just simply paint the house, but then they have to pay to have the house painted. So it sounds like your paint choices are going to cost them money. That's not attractive for a buyer.
So now when it comes to flooring, you want to make sure that if the carpet is worn out, like there's been a couple properties I've been showing over the past couple weeks where the carpet looks like a dog has been running up and down doing
Mhm.
laps and or a cat has been scratching all over the place. And my clients say on a regular basis, this carpet is going to have to be replaced. Buyers don't know how much stuff costs.
Mhm.
So that means that they're automatically assuming, oh, this is going to cost $10, $15, $20,000 on top of what I'm already spending on the property.
Mhm.
So you want to remove all of these negative connotations or reactions about your property from the client. With carpet doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be expensive. You can go with a lower grade carpet, but as long as it's new, the buyer feels like, okay, great. I may not like this carpet, but I could live with
I
this
can
carpet.
live with the carpet for a little while. I can deal with it.
When it comes to window treatments, remove those heavy drapes. Also, drapes are dead. I mean, let's unless we're in luxury homes,
Yeah.
if we're in a luxury property, or if you have modern drapes.
Yes, but like those heavy, ornate, really dark drapes, they're not doing anything for you. They're not doing anything for the house. They're not doing anything for the pictures. So something light, something lightweight, something that brings light in, something nice and subdued, something that is not going to scream at the buyers in the listing photos. So just something nice and neutral.
So some seller tips: don't do everything. And again, your agent isn't going to consult you to do everything. You're just doing the things that can get the property show ready
Mhm.
and ready to appeal to the most number of buyers.
And how much work you're going to do is going to be tied to the market that you're in. Because as Abraham said, we're seeing a lot of carpet right now, right? We're seeing carpet that maybe should have been replaced 6 months ago, a year
The
ago,
carpet
right?
has died.
But you know what the sellers know today? The sellers know that right now they don't have to do the carpets. So the market that you're in is going to determine how much work you have to do. If there are some unfinished projects, or specifically like you have an unfinished basement, that can be seen as a feature. Not to a lot of buyers, but it can be an opportunity for you to spin this as a chance for the buyer to put their own touch in a basement. You can point out, well, we have a rough-in for a bathroom. So there are ways to make unfinished projects appear appealing, but that does not mean you shouldn't do anything to get your home ready to get on to come on a market.
Excellent. So that is question number 8. What are the most important repairs, renovations, and improvements I should make to my home before I sell? And that's from 100 questions every seller should ask